Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a concept that, well, it often gets a bit of a bad rap, doesn't it?
It really does.
The law of attraction. Now, if you're picturing us just, sitting around wishing for fluency to magically appear, definitely think again.
Yeah, we're not going down that purely mystical path today.
No, we're immediately pivoting away from any, let's say, woo-woo interpretations. Instead, this deep dive is all about exploring how the law of attraction, despite some common misconceptions, is actually deeply rooted in some pretty powerful psychology.
Exactly. Things like mindset, unwavering focus, and even, yes, the fascinating mechanics of self-fulfilling prophecies.
Right. And for many of you listening, as advanced C1 level English learners, you've already put in, thousands of hours, right?
Yeah.
Building that incredible technical foundation.
Absolutely. The groundwork is solid.
But sometimes that final leap, that jump to effortless, really confident mastery, it just feels slightly out of reach.
And that's precisely where this conversation comes in. Understanding these principles could actually be that missing ingredient you've been looking for.
The thing that bridges the gap.
Exactly. It's what can help transform all that effort into a feeling of effortlessness.
Yeah.
Helping you transition from just proficiency to, true, unshakable confidence.
So it's like unlocking a new level where maybe opportunities feel like they just appear.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so let's be clear. This deep dive isn't some kind of magical guide. It's really a strategic framework. We're looking at how to apply the core ideas of the law of attraction as a powerful psychological tool, specifically designed to, accelerate your English learning journey.
We're essentially talking about tapping into your brain's own incredible filtering systems and maybe even its built-in biases, but using them for you.
Gotcha. So what's the mission today?
Our mission is, I think, crystal clear. We're going to explore how you can clarify your linguistic desires with surgical precision.
Yep.
Then how to cultivate an unshakable belief in your abilities. And finally, how to align your actions so you actually attract genuine fluency and those amazing opportunities we talked about.
And we'll hear some stories along the way.
Oh, definitely. You'll hear stories of individuals whose, let's call it, energetic frequency, which really means their consistent mindset, their focused attention, their core identity, how that unlocked their full potential as really confident global communicators.
All right, let's get into it. Let's untangle this. Should probably start with the core principle, right? This idea of like attracts like.
That's the foundation. The theory suggests that everything, including our thoughts, vibrates at a certain frequency.
Right. Positive, abundant thoughts are seen as high frequency. Negative, scarcity-based thoughts, lower frequency.
And the traditional idea is that by maintaining that high frequency, you attract high-frequency outcomes. But like you said, what does that really mean in practical psychological terms?
Yes, the question. How do we make this useful?
Well, what's truly fascinating here is how we can ground this seemingly abstract concept firmly in neuroscience and psychology.
Yeah.
And that transforms it into a genuinely practical tool. You can think of the law of attraction as a powerful way to consciously direct your brain's incredibly sophisticated filtering systems.
Taking control of what your mind prioritizes.
Precisely.
Okay. And this brings us to, one of my favorite bits of brain science. The reticular activating system, the RAS.
Ah, yes, the RAS. Crucial.
It's like your brain's personal gatekeeper, isn't it? Sifting through, billions of bits of data every second and only showing you what it thinks is important.
And the critical part.
What it deems important is whatever you are consistently focusing on.
Exactly.
That classic example, right? You decide you want to buy a specific car, maybe a vintage Blue Beetle, and suddenly, boom, you see Blue Beetles everywhere.
They seem to just pop out.
Right. But those cars were always there.
Yes.
Your RAS just started flagging them as important because you decided they were important.
Yeah. And the real insight isn't just what the RAS does, but how easily it can get stuck, maybe in a negative loop if we're not intentional.
How so?
Well, your brain wants to confirm your existing worldview. It looks for evidence that you're right about how things are, even if that worldview is actually limiting you.
Okay, that makes sense. So how does this connect directly to learning English?
Well, think about it. When you consciously and consistently focus on a specific desire, let's say I really want to find more opportunities to actually speak English with native speakers, your RAS gets the message.
It starts scanning for that.
Yes, it starts to notice things you probably ignored before. Maybe a flyer for a local international meetup.
Or a colleague mentions an English book club they're in.
Exactly. Or even just an online ad for a language exchange app that you'd previously scroll right past. These opportunities were likely always there, kind of in the background.
But your focused intention literally tunes your brain to perceive them.
It's not magic. It's your neural pathways being primed. You're telling your brain what's important now.
Okay, so focus directs the RAS. But then, where does belief fit into all this? The law of attraction talks a lot about belief.
It does, and this aligns perfectly with two really well-established psychological principles. It's not just fluff.
Right.
First, you've got confirmation bias. This is our, very human tendency to search for, interpret, and recall information in a way that confirms what we already believe.
We like being right, even if our beliefs aren't helpful.
Precisely. And the trap isn't just believing negative things, it's that your brain actively seeks out and interprets data to reinforce those beliefs. This makes changing them incredibly difficult without conscious effort.
Can you give an English learning example?
Sure. Let's say you believe deep down, my English is awkward and people probably don't enjoy talking to me.
Okay.
With that belief, you'll interpret every slight pause someone makes in conversation, or maybe just a neutral facial expression, as proof that you're awkward and boring them.
Okay. You read into it based on the belief.
Exactly. But flip the belief. If you believe, I am an engaging and valuable conversation partner, even if I make mistakes, you'll likely interpret those same signals, the pause, the expression, as maybe just thoughtfulness on their part or active listening. The data is the same. The interpretation changes based on the belief.
Wow, okay. And the second principle?
The second one is the self-fulfilling prophecy. This is where a belief or expectation actually influences your behavior in such a way that it makes the original expectation come true.
So believing makes it so.
In a way, yes, through your actions. If you genuinely believe you are a confident speaker, how will you act when you enter a conversation?
Probably more relaxed, open body language, maybe smile more.
Exactly. You'll have a warmer tone. Maybe you'll be more willing to take conversational risks, ask questions, share opinions.
And that behavior naturally gets a better reaction from people.
Right. People respond more positively to that openness and confidence, which then reinforces your original belief. See, I am a confident speaker. It becomes this powerful positive cycle, or sadly, a negative one if the initial belief is limiting.
So pulling this together, what does this mean for you, the learner? Understanding this, we can clearly see the law of attraction isn't about just, passively wishing on a star.
Not at all.
It's much more about consciously programming your own mind, training your brain to see opportunities, interpret your experiences in a more positive or useful way, and then act in a way that helps bring that desired reality into being.
It's active. It's intentional engagement with your own psychology.
Okay, so if we understand how our brains filter reality and how belief shapes it, the next logical step seems pretty clear. We need to be specific about what we want that reality to be.
Precisely.
Which brings us neatly to principle number 1, ASK. Defining your linguistic desire with utter clarity. They famously say in The Secret, the first step is to ask. Make a command to the universe. Let the universe know what you want.
And the psychological principle here is simple, but gosh, so often overlooked. Vague desires send vague signals to your brain, to your RAS.
Like, I want more money.
Exactly. You get vague results, maybe finding a coin on the street, but a clear, specific desire, like, I want to attract an extra $50,000 this year through my side business. Now that sends a clear, powerful signal. Your RAS has something concrete to latch onto and look for.
And how does this apply to language learning? Is there a common mistake here?
Oh, definitely. It's a really common pitfall for C1 learners. Their desire is often just too broad. I want to be fluent.
Right. Or I want to improve my English.
Exactly. That's like getting into a taxi and saying, take me somewhere nice.
Okay, good analogy.
Yeah.
You might end up somewhere, but probably not your dream destination.
Very unlikely.
So as a C1 learner, you really need to define your ask with, what did you call it? Surgical precision.
Yes. What does fluency actually look like for you? What does it sound like? How does it feel specifically in the situations that matter to you?
Because a vague desire just doesn't inspire focused action, does it?
No, but a crystal clear vision. That becomes this incredibly powerful magnet. It pulls you toward it, and it helps you attract the resources, the focus, the opportunities you need.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do you put this into practice? Any tips?
Absolutely. Let's get practical. First, consider creating a fluency vision board.
The classic vision board. Does it really work?
It can be surprisingly effective, and for good reason. It makes the abstract concrete. Create a physical or digital collage that truly represents your ideal English-speaking future.
And the key is specificity, right? Not just like a picture of the UK flag.
Please, no, be specific. Find an image of the actual international conference you dream of speaking at. Put the logo of the global company you want to join. Maybe a picture of that foreign city where you envision yourself living and forming deep friendships.
So it feels real.
Yes. Look at this board daily. Spend a few minutes really connecting with it. Imprint that precise vision onto your subconscious mind.
Okay, vision board. What else?
Second, try scripting. This is a really powerful practice.
Scripting, like writing a movie script.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's writing about your desired reality, but you write it in the present tense, or even the past tense, as if it has already happened.
Ah, I see. To make it feel achieved.
Exactly. It helps trick your brain into accepting it as a real possibility, maybe even a memory. Try spending, say, 15 minutes each morning journaling like this.
So instead of writing, I really hope I can get a job in London someday.
Right, that's weak. That's hope. Scripting is about embodiment. You'd write something like, I am just so incredibly grateful and thrilled right now writing this from my amazing apartment in London. My new job as a senior marketing manager here is everything I dreamed it would be, honestly.
Wow, okay. Keep going.
I feel such a rush of confidence every morning when I lead my team's daily stand-up meeting, all in English. The ideas just flow so easily now, and honestly, the friendly banter with my colleagues, that's become my favorite part of the day. I didn't just find a job. I feel like I've created a life I truly love, and my English skills were the key, the absolute key that unlocked it all.
That feels completely different. Much more powerful. It makes it feel real now.
That's the goal. You're generating the feeling of the wish fulfilled.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you have an example of someone who did this?
I do. Let me share the story of Sophia. She was a really talented graphic designer based in São Paulo, Brazil.
Okay.
She dreamed of working on global campaigns, big stuff. But even though her C1 English was technically pretty good, she was absolutely terrified of interviews in English. Felt totally stuck in the local market. Her desire was there, but it was vague, you know. I want to work internationally.
The take me somewhere nice problem again.
Exactly. So after learning about these principles, she decided she had to get crystal clear on her ask. No more vagueness, her specific dream. To work for one particular world-renowned branding agency in New York City, very specific.
Like layer target.
Super clear.
Yeah.
So she created this meticulous vision board. It had the agency's logo, pictures of their award-winning campaigns she admired, photos of their actual office building in Soho. She even put a Google Maps screenshot of a neighborhood near the office she liked the look of.
Wow, detailed.
Very. And every morning she'd look at this board and spend maybe 5 minutes just visualizing. And she didn't just see herself working there, she worked on feeling it.
Feeling it. How?
She imagined the sensation of the keyboard under her fingers in their studio. She imagined hearing her colleagues chatting in English around her. She focused on feeling the pride of presenting new design concepts to the team.
Immersive.
Totally. And this incredible clarity, it completely transformed her actions. She stopped taking random English lessons. Instead, she focused her learning specifically on the language of design and advertising. She read industry blogs, listened to podcasts by people in that field, meticulously analyzed case studies from that specific agency.
Tailoring
everything. She tailored her portfolio, her CV, to match their exact style, their values. Then, about a year later, a junior position opened up at that agency.
Ah.
And because she had so precisely aligned her skills, her energy, her focus with that specific goal, honestly, she was the perfect candidate. Her interview apparently felt less like a stressful audition and more like a natural conversation. Why? Because in her mind, she was already part of their world. She got the job.
Wow. That's such a compelling example. Clarity really acting like a magnet there.
It really can.
Okay, so once you know precisely what you want, the real challenge often becomes believing you can actually achieve it or that you deserve it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's often the bigger hurdle.
Which brings us to principle number 2, believe. Cultivating an unshakable identity. Rhonda Byrne, in The Secret, puts it pretty simply. See yourself living in abundance, and you will attract it.
That's right. Asking is step 1. But the second, and like you said, often the most difficult step, is to truly believe you are worthy of what you're asking for.
It's not enough just to want it.
No. It requires you to match your, let's call it energetic frequency again, that consistent mental and emotional state you're operating from. You have to match that to the frequency of your desire. You essentially have to act, think, and feel as if your dream is already your reality now.
And for language learners, how does this play out?
Well, this is the ultimate weapon against imposter syndrome.
Ah, yes. So common, especially at C1 level, isn't it?
Incredibly common. Many advanced learners still carry the identity of a student or a non-native speaker, even after years and years of study. They feel like a fraud sometimes, constantly afraid of being found out. And that identity, that feeling of being an imposter, it vibrates at a lower frequency, one of self-doubt. And what does that do? It keeps their RAS attuned to finding evidence that confirms their limitations. It's a vicious cycle.
So this is where the concept really comes alive. To attract true mastery, you actually have to shed that old identity.
You have to let it go.
And embody a new one. You're not just learning English anymore. You are a polyglot, maybe?
Yeah.
A global communicator. An English speaker, full stop.
Exactly. It's not about being arrogant or pretending. It's about claiming an identity that aligns with your goal. When you truly start to believe you are a confident speaker, you naturally begin to act like one.
And that action fundamentally changes your reality, reinforcing the belief, the cycle again.
The cycle works both ways. Choose the positive one.
Okay, so how do we actually cultivate this kind of belief? It sounds hard. Any strategies?
Definitely. It takes practice, but it's doable. First, craft powerful affirmations.
Affirmations, okay.
These need to be present tense statements designed specifically to reprogram your subconscious beliefs. You got to ditch the weak ones like, I hope I will get better at English someday.
Right. Too passive.
Way too passive. You need powerful identity-level statements, and you need to repeat them daily, ideally with genuine feeling and emotion.
Can you give some examples? What would a powerful one sound like?
Sure. Things like, I am a clear, confident, and articulate communicator in English. Or maybe, I express my complex ideas with ease and precision in English, and people genuinely value my perspective.
I like that. What about accents? People worry about accents.
Good point. You could try. My unique accent is a powerful reminder of my multicultural background and my resilience, and I navigate complex English conversations with grace and skill. See, you're reframing it as a strength.
Okay, affirmations, powerful ones. What's next?
Second, the technique of act as if. This is truly transformative and I think often underestimated.
Act as if you already are the person you want to be.
Exactly. Before you enter a situation that typically makes you nervous, maybe a meeting, an important phone call, a social event with native speakers, pause and ask yourself, how would the most confident, fluent version of myself walk into this room right now? How would they speak? What would their body language be like?
And then you actually do it.
Then you actively embody that. You walk in that way. You hold yourself that way. You aim to speak with that tone. Action often precedes the feeling. By acting confident, you start to prime yourself to actually become confident.
I remember trying something like that before a presentation I was nervous about.
Yeah.
I actually rehearsed walking into the room, standing tall, as if I owned the space. It sounds silly, maybe, but it genuinely made a difference in how I felt when the real moment came.
It's not silly at all. It works. You're changing your physiology, which changes your psychology.
Okay. Affirmations, act as if. Anything else for building belief?
Yes, a crucial one. Reframe your mistakes.
How we deal with errors.
Huge. Someone stuck in the learner identity often sees a mistake as a failure, as proof of their inadequacy. And that just pulls their energy, their confidence right down.
Okay.
But someone embodying the English speaker identity sees a mistake differently. It's simply a data point. It's feedback, information.
So when you make an error, don't let your inner critic spiral.
Exactly. Try to reframe it with curiosity. Think, that's interesting. I used the wrong preposition there. Okay, noted. I'll remember that for next time. Keep your internal vibration, your mindset high. Stay positive. Focus on growth, not on shame or embarrassment.
That takes practice, I imagine.
It really does. It's about catching yourself in that negative spiral and choosing a different response.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Kenji.
Okay, another story.
Yes. Kenji was a brilliant systems engineer in Tokyo. Super smart. But his career had completely stalled. Why? Because in video conferences with his company's headquarters in Texas, he would just remain silent. Completely silent, even though he understood everything perfectly well.
What was holding him back?
His internal monologue, it was just this torrent of self-criticism. Your accent is too strong, your grammar isn't perfect, don't say anything, you'll sound stupid. He deeply identified as a struggling learner, and so, well, he struggled.
The self-fulfilling prophecy again.
Textbook case. So he decided to tackle this limiting belief system head-on, using these kinds of principles. He wrote out powerful affirmations and recorded himself saying them. He listened to them every day on his commute. His main one was, I am a respected global engineer who communicates complex ideas with clarity and authority.
Good one. Identity level.
Very. Then came the act as if challenge. His company launched a new project and they needed a liaison, someone to coordinate between the Tokyo team and the Texas team.
Oh, wow. His nightmare scenario, basically.
Exactly. His nightmare, but also potentially his biggest opportunity. He knew the old learner Kenji would never ever volunteer for that, run a mile. But he asked himself, what would the respected global engineer Kenji from my affirmation do? Well, that Kenji would see it as his duty, his responsibility. So with his heart absolutely pounding, he volunteered.
Rave move. How did it go?
The first few weeks were terrifying for him, as you can imagine, but he forced himself consciously to act as if he were that confident communicator. He prepared meticulously for every single meeting. He made sure he was the first person to turn his camera on. He set himself a rule. Speak within the first 5 minutes of every meeting, even if it was just to agree with a point someone else made.
Shifting the goal.
Completely. Before, his goal was just avoid mistakes at all costs. Now his goal became contribute value. That shift was everything.
And did people notice the mistakes?
You know, his colleagues didn't seem to notice his occasional grammatical errors nearly as much as they noticed his valuable insights, his technical expertise, and just his increasing presence and willingness to engage. He started getting positive feedback. And that feedback began to overwrite those old negative beliefs.
So he wasn't just acting confident anymore.
He was becoming confident. His identity was literally catching up to his consistent actions.
That's incredible. A really powerful testament to the idea that action can genuinely lead to belief, not just the other way around.
It absolutely can.
Okay, so we've asked with clarity, we've worked on believing and shifting our identity. What's the final piece? This brings us to principle number 3. Receive. Inspired action and opening to opportunity.
Yes.
Napoleon Hill said it well, didn't he? You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be.
A powerful quote. And this receive step is where the law of attraction is maybe most often misunderstood.
How so? People think it's passive.
Exactly. People think you just ask, believe, and then kind of sit on the sofa and wait for fluency or the perfect job to arrive in the mail.
Like ordering from Amazon.
Yes, but it's not like that at all. The final step, receive, means being in a state of allowing, yes, but crucially, it also means taking inspired action.
Inspired action. What does that mean?
It means that when your desires and beliefs are truly aligned, the universe, or maybe more practically, your highly attuned RAS in your intuitive mind will start presenting you with opportunities. You'll get hunches. Ideas will pop into your head. Your job is to act on them, especially the ones that feel right, even if they seem small or illogical at first, without hesitation.
Okay, so for English learning, this means once you have that clear vision, that ask, and you're cultivating that empowered belief,
You will genuinely start to notice doors opening that were previously invisible to you. You might overhear a conversation at work about a new international project and suddenly feel the strong urge to ask more about it.
or you see a poster for a local English language theater group, something you'd normally ignore, but this time you feel an inexplicable pull to maybe check it out.
Precisely. Or you get a random idea out of the blue to start a YouTube channel reviewing books you love, but doing it in English.
And the key is recognizing these aren't just weird coincidences.
They're not just coincidences. These are opportunities, nudges, that your heightened awareness, your primed RAS, is serving up to you based on your clear ask and belief. Inspired action is about acting on these opportunities, even if they seem small or a bit scary initially.
It's how you signal, maybe to yourself and the world, that you're serious, that you're ready to receive.
Exactly. You're taking steps that align with the vision you've created. You're meeting the opportunity halfway.
Okay, this makes sense. But how do you make sure you actually seize these moments? Sometimes fear or doubt can creep in really fast.
It can. So here are some effective strategies for getting better at receiving and taking that inspired action. First, try adopting an improv mindset. Yes, and.
Like in improvisational theater.
Exactly like improv. The first rule is you always respond to whatever your partner offers with yes, and. You accept what's offered, and you build upon it. You don't block, you build.
Okay, how does that apply here?
Apply it to life's offers. Let's say a friend invites you to a party where there will be lots of native English speakers. Your fearful mind might immediately scream, "No, it'll be too awkward. I won't know what to say." That's blocking.
Right.
The yes and response would be, "Okay, yes, I'll go to the party, and I will prepare 3 interesting open-ended questions beforehand that I can ask people to get conversation started." See? It shifts you from automatic rejection to proactive engagement.
I like that. Yes, and.
Oh.
Okay, what else?
Second, learn to follow the energetic pull. Pay close attention to what genuinely excites you or feels light and engaging when it comes to English.
Follow the energy.
Yeah. If the thought of sitting down to study complex grammar rules feels heavy, boring, like wading through mud,
Yeah.
but the idea of maybe writing short fictional stories in English or watching obscure documentaries you're interested in English makes you feel kind of light, curious, energized, then follow that energy.
So trust your enjoyment.
Trust your joy. Inspired action often feels good. It feels like flow. Your genuine interest and excitement are like a compass pointing you toward your most effective and likely most sustainable learning path. It's your intuition guiding you.
Okay, yes, and follow the energy. One more.
One more, and it's brilliantly simple. It comes from author Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule.
Ah, I've heard of this.
It works perfectly here. The idea is when you get an impulse, an instinct, a hunch to act on a goal, like to speak up in that meeting or to strike up a conversation with that stranger in English, you have about 5 seconds to physically move before your brain kills the idea with doubt, excuses, and overthinking.
So you count down.
You literally count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Joe, and a near go, you physically move. You take action. Don't hesitate. Don't overthink it in that moment. Just act. It's an amazing way to bypass that initial resistance.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Jer. Simple, but sounds effective. Do you have a story for this received principle?
I do. Let's talk about Anja. She was an environmental scientist from Germany. She had a very clear vision. She wanted to work on international climate change policy, ideally at the United Nations.
Big goal. Specific.
Very. She'd done the scripting. She'd worked hard on cultivating the belief that she was a world-class scientist capable of this. She was actively applying for high-level jobs and fellowships at the UN and similar organizations.
How's that going?
She was getting repeatedly rejected. And honestly, she was starting to lose faith. The rejections were chipping away at her belief.
That's tough.
Really tough. Then one day, she was just kind of scrolling through an old alumni newsletter, not really looking for anything, and she saw this small, really unglamorous call for volunteers. A tiny, basically unknown, underfunded NGO needed someone to help proofread and edit a 50-page technical report on soil degradation.
Okay. Sounds tedious.
Totally. It was unpaid, obscure, seemed incredibly time-consuming. Her logical mind immediately told her this is a distraction. This has nothing to do with your real goal of getting a prestigious UN job. Ignore it.
Makes sense. Logically?
Logically, yes. But she felt this small kind of inexplicable pull, just a little nudge. It felt like one of those inspired ideas, even though it made no logical sense.
The energetic pull, maybe?
Could be. So remembering the principles, she applied the 5-second rule. Before she could talk herself out of it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she wrote a quick email and just said, "Yes, I can help."
Oh, she went for it.
She did. For the next month, she worked quite closely, all online, with the report's main author, who turned out to be a semi-retired professor from Kenya. Her excellent C1 English was actually invaluable in helping him refine his scientific arguments and really polish the language. They developed a warm, professional rapport over email and calls.
That was a good experience.
It was satisfying work, yeah. She finished it, felt a quiet sense of accomplishment, and then essentially forgot all about it, moved on to applying for the real jobs again.
Okay.
Then about 6 months later, she received a completely unexpected email. The Kenyan professor she'd helped, he happened to be on the advisory board for a brand new UN task force being set up. No way.
Yes. And they urgently needed a junior research coordinator with expertise in, guess what? Soil science. And critically, someone with excellent English communication skills to liaise between different international members.
And he thought of her.
He immediately thought of her. He remembered her meticulous work, her professionalism, her skill with the language. He recommended her strongly. Suddenly, Anja wasn't just one of hundreds of anonymous CVs anymore. She had an internal champion, someone who knew her capabilities firsthand.
Did she get it?
She got the position. Her big break didn't come in the form she expected at all. It didn't come from those direct applications for the high-level jobs. It came disguised as a small, humble, seemingly unrelated opportunity that she had to be open enough to receive and brave enough to act upon, trusting that initial illogical pull.
Wow. That's a fantastic story about inspired action and unexpected paths.
It really illustrates it well, I think.
Okay, so let's try and bring all this home then. It feels really important to reiterate. The law of attraction, viewed this way, is absolutely not a magic wand.
Definitely not. It won't bring you fluency overnight. Certainly not without effort. You, listening, have already put in those thousands of hours to reach the C1 level. That incredible work is the essential foundation. None of this replaces that.
Absolutely. Think of these principles not as shortcuts around the effort, but as tools to maximize the effectiveness of the effort you're already making and the effort you'll continue to make.
So what this philosophy offers you now at this advanced stage is a really powerful framework, isn't it? For managing what might be the most critical variable in your continued success.
Which is?
Your own consciousness, your mindset, your focus, your beliefs.
Exactly. It provides a set of practical tools to help transform your mind from being maybe a source of friction and self-doubt into becoming a powerful magnet for opportunity and growth. It's all about optimizing your internal landscape so your external reality can start to reflect that.
Okay, so wrapping up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Think of these 3 principles as your essential toolkit for accelerating your English mastery from this point on. First, ask. Ask with the absolute clarity of an architect drawing a detailed blueprint for your future conversations, for that ideal job, for the global connections you want to build. Be specific. Second, believe. Believe with the deep conviction of a great actor who becomes so immersed in a role that they actually become that character. It's about shedding that old student or non-native identity and really stepping into your power as the confident, articulate English speaker you aspire to be. Embody it. And third, receive. Receive with the open arms of a grateful host, ready to welcome those unexpected opportunities, those nudges, those inspired ideas, and crucially, be ready to take the inspired action required to turn those possibilities into your reality. Remember, Anja, your readiness is key.
And perhaps a final thought to leave you with. By consciously choosing your thoughts, deliberately cultivating an empowered identity, and intentionally aligning your actions with your clear vision, you are no longer just a passive student of English.
You become something more.
You become an active creator of your linguistic reality. You are consciously tuning your own frequency, refining your focus, your intention, your belief, and your brain, along with the opportunities the world presents, really has no choice but to respond. It will start showing you pathways to those desired outcomes you've defined so clearly.
Start today. Even small steps. Start today and watch as the world begins, perhaps subtly at first, to rearrange itself to match the new, powerful signal you are sending out.